Hey everyone, welcome to this week's video. Today we're going to be talking about my top 5 supplements that I use almost every day to get the best results from the gym, to recover better, to sleep better. These are the supplements that I would suggest to almost anyone getting into powerlifting, bodybuilding, CrossFit, any athletes. I would suggest taking all of these because they are going to enhance your ability to perform your sport to the top of your level and going to help you out in the long run. They're all safe to take. They all have been studied very, very in depth over the past couple decades, and even some of them are some of the most studied supplements in general. Now, number 5 on the list is going to be protein powder.
Protein rocks.
Protein.
Protein powder is a great supplement that you can use in order to get to your daily intake of protein. Generally, what is suggested for athletes who are training either resistance training or especially endurance athletes need to be consuming about 2 grams of protein for every kilogram of body weight. So right now I weigh 100 kilos and I compete in the 100 kilo weight class. So that means I should be consuming 200 milligrams of protein. Protein helps you recover from the resistance training you are doing. When you sleep, the protein gives you the necessary building blocks to repair your muscles that you've damaged during the day, during your strength training. You break those muscles while you lift weights, and during your sleep, the amino acids found in the protein powder break down and are able to build your muscles back up. I don't have specific brand loyalty. I know generally closer to when you're done lifting or done running, an isolate protein powder enables you to have a little bit quicker digestion, and towards the end of the day when you want a slower digesting protein powder when you're about to go to sleep, a casein blend would do you well. Any route you choose to go, achieving that 200 grams per 100 kilos of body weight is just a great tool, and it's a great helpful mechanism in which you can achieve that much protein, because sometimes it can be hard without using protein powder to get to that protein level for athletes. So number 5 is protein powder. Now, number 2 on the list is going to be the most studied sports supplement of all time, and that is going to be caffeine. Caffeine is a stimulant that really helps us get going in the morning for a lot of people. There's a lot of caffeine, obviously, in coffee and tea. It's been around for hundreds of years and really honestly fueled a lot of what we consider today as a capitalist society, or even the Industrial Revolution has a lot to do with just having a new stockpile of this new drug called caffeine. For athletes, it's important to know that caffeine can enhance your ability not only to get going and get excited and be stimulated, but also for its ability to be a focusing enhancer. It helps you get fixed on what you're trying to do and enables you to do that at a higher level than if you didn't take it. My favorite way to take caffeine is going to be through a pre-workout. I like to take it in about 20 to 30 minutes before I train. That way it's in my system flowing. By the time I'm hitting that top set, I'm really ready to go and I'm focused in on hitting that weight. So I can't suggest taking caffeine enough. Every day before I work out, I take anywhere between 150 milligrams to 300 milligrams just to get me in that right mindset. If it's going to be something a little lighter, I try to keep the caffeine on the lighter end. That way I'm not getting super excited just to go to the gym and not have like my top day. I want to save those higher caffeine days for the days where I'm going to be going in and crushing some big weights and some PRs. So I couldn't suggest adding caffeine to your workout routine if you don't already have that through a pre-workout or even a caffeine capsule or a cup of coffee. Now, number 3 on the list is going to be electrolyte supplementation. Generally, what this looks like for me is taking a hydration multiplier, which you can find at Costco. But essentially, I like to just mix this in with my pre-workout before I go to the gym. What this does is it ensures that I am not going to get cramped when I'm working out. The limiting factor for working out, I want to keep that limiting factor being my muscular tissue and my ability to produce force, and not me cramping or not me running out of energy from I'm not having enough carbs before I work out. I want the limiting factor to be my ability to produce force by my muscles, not cramping. So electrolyte supplementation is going to do just that, keep you from cramping, enabling you to produce the most force as possible just in the creation of ATP and going through that whole process of breaking down glucose, use a lot of electrolytes throughout that process. And when you don't have those electrolytes to do so, you don't have the means to produce ATP, which is the fuel in which we use to contract our muscles and to use the muscles within our body. So electrolyte supplementation ensures that we have enough of those electrolytes to produce enough ATP so we can keep grinding. Especially important for endurance training or athletes who are going to be sweating a lot and losing a lot of those electrolytes through your skin by via sweat. So I cannot suggest doing that enough. It's not just salt. You got to have your potassium, calcium. A lot of these electrolyte supplementation products can generally get the job done. I'm not too fixed on what brand. I just want to make sure that I'm doing all that I can to make sure that I'm not going to be cramping up at the gym, because I am a person who does sweat a lot. Now, number 4 on the list is going to be melatonin. Melatonin is something that I take about an hour before bed to just slow down and get ready to go to sleep, and it generally helps me go to sleep a little bit quicker and easier. This is important for me because I generally train in the mornings around 6 a.m. and sometimes when I go to bed the night before I train, I get too excited on what I'm going to be hitting the next day that I just get too excited and thinking about it, and I just can't fall asleep. And then next thing I know, I'm watching old training videos or YouTube videos or whatever I'm getting hyped about, and I'm not falling asleep, and I'm losing that recovery from that day, and I'm not achieving what I could achieve if I would just be asleep, because they say sleep is anabolic, baby. But making sure that you're sleeping 7 to 9 hours is crucial for building muscle and for recovery. So I want to make sure I'm soaking up all that recovery that I can, making sure I'm building all the muscle that I can in order to perform best the next day. So taking melatonin enables me to fall asleep pretty easily. I don't have to think about it too much. I don't take too much. I take around half of a 5 milligram pill from Costco, so 2.5 milligrams. It's not a lot, but it helps me calm down enough and really slow down my thinking enough to want to go to bed and really get those 8 to 9 hours of sleep that I normally can get. Now, number 5 on the list is the head honcho, the supplement that I cannot suggest to anyone enough. If you're not taking this supplement, you need to hop on it right away, and that is creatine monohydrate. Creatine is the gold standard when it comes to efficacy in the scientific space for athletes and taking supplements. What creatine does is it helps you replenish those ATP stores quicker between sets and also during sets. So for example, if you're doing a set of 10 to 12 squats, by 5-6 reps in, you're going to be pretty much gone through that first line of ATP stores. What creatine does is it helps you replenish those ATP stores so you can use your quick twitch muscle fibers to finish out that set and move on to your next one. Creatine is essential for athletes, especially people who are going to be doing some more medium distance training. So people like rugby players, soccer players, mid-distance runners in track, like 400, 800 meter runners who still need to use a lot of that anaerobic systems in their body. They're going to be needing a lot of creatine. What I suggest is generally almost the same ratio or a similar ratio for protein. So generally I suggest 1 milligram per 10 kilos of body weight. So if you're 100 kilo male, to take 10 milligrams of creatine monohydrate per day. Timing doesn't really matter. There's been studies done on when you should be taking creatine. It doesn't seem to matter the time of day. All that matters is how much you are taking. And for some people, it's going to be more impactful than others. If you eat a diet heavy with red meats, you're not going to need to take as much creatine. But if you're a vegetarian or a vegan or someone who doesn't eat a lot of red meat, you're going to benefit a lot from taking creatine, and it's going to enable you to produce more force for longer and recover quicker. But creatine monohydrate is my favorite supplement. I don't have brand loyalty. This is the one I got from Walmart. It's all the same. It's super cheap, and I think you should probably hop on it right now if you aren't already taking it. Thanks for watching, guys. It's going to wrap up today's video. These tips that I gave and these supplements that I take, I'm going to be doing a deeper dive on each one of them. This was just a broad overview of what I like to take on a daily basis so I can recover better, perform better, and just get 1% better every single day. Now, for this week's listener question, we're going to go go to this squat tip question that I found on my squat tip video. It was, do you brace between each, or do you reset your breath on every rep during a set, or you take one breath at the beginning and then keep squatting with that one breath throughout the whole set? And my answer to that is, generally on the top sets, I like to take a breath between every single rep in order to make every single rep feel like a single and replicate as much of a single a 1 rep max or a competition rep as much as possible in order to get the most skill acquisition from doing those reps. So instead of taking one breath and doing 3 or 4 reps, I take one breath, do a rep, and then reset, breathe out, breathe in, and go down for another. Especially on top sets where the load is going to be a little bit heavier and bracing is more important, I would extremely suggest bracing between each rep. On back off sets where you're going to be in the 5+ rep range, I would suggest maybe taking 2 or 3 reps per breath, but making sure to reset between every breath or between every rep, and making sure that you are performing each rep the exact same. Doing those higher rep sets with a breath in between can get kind of burdensome over time. You're talking about like a minute set if you are taking a breath between every single rep for a set of 10 per se. So you can kind of compound those and collapse those into 2 or 3 breaths for a 10 rep set, or whatever the case may be, or whatever's most comfortable for you. So that's what I would suggest for that commenter and that listener. If you have any comments or questions that you would like to have answered in a future video, drop those down below, and I'll get to answering those right away. And then if they're good, I'll feature them in a future video. So feel free to drop any of the questions that you might have. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe so we can keep growing this dang thing. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.